Why investing in commercial property is a lot better than investing in residential property? There are a lot of reasons that commercial property investment better than residential property investment. One of the most important reasons would be the forced appreciation. What is the forced appreciation? The forced appreciation is when you actually bring the value of the commercial property higher than the value that you purchase in a short period of time. How you could do that? In order for you to actually do that, you have to know some of the terms like NOI, income, expenses, and cap rate. What is the income of the property? Imagine you have 10-unit multifamily property. In order for you to calculate the income of the property, imagine each unit has an income or rent of $1,000. In order for you to actually calculate the income of the property, you times the 1,000 by 10, which is going to be 10,000, and you times that by 12, which is going to be 120,000 a year. So 120,000 a year is the income of the property for 10-unit multifamily property. We actually go through details later on, but the income of this unit property, imagine, is 120,000 a year. You have to calculate the expenses in order for you to actually know NOI. What is the expenses for this unit, this 10 units property? Imagine this is 1/3 of an income, which is going to be $40,000. If you subtract 120,000, which is the income of the property, by the expenses of 40,000, it's going to be $80,000, which we call it NOI, or net operating income. If we divide that by the cap rate of the property, which we, in this example, we assume is 8%, it's going to be a number that we call it a value of that property. We go through the details later on in this episode, that you know exactly how we add the value in commercial property very quick. We can't add that in actually single family home or residential home. Let's go and see that example and do it together. We told you that investing in commercial property is a lot better than residential property. So we want to actually show you the example with numbers that you can actually feel that a lot better. Imagine that you purchase a single family home and you raise the rent by $200 a month. So the net operating income increased by $2,400 a year. What we did, we actually times this by 12. So you increase the NOI by $2,400 a month. How much value you added to this property? Nothing. Because in single family home, whatever rent that you increase, it doesn't actually have any effect on your value of the property. But if you have that 10 unit that we actually talk about as an example, if you add $200 a month for each unit, if you have 10 units, it's going to be $24,000 increase in NOI, which is going to be yearly. So how we calculate this? We times this by 10. This is going to be $2,000 a month. And we actually multiply that by 12, which is going to be $24,000 a year. So we just increase NOI by $24,000 a month, a year. And if we actually assume that the cap rate for this property is 8%, we just increased $300,000 to the value of this property. So in commercial, it's actually easy and it's doable to increase the price of the commercial property by increasing the rent, and by doing that is by increasing the NOI. I give you another example. So imagine instead of 10 units, you have 90 units, and you increase $200 a month rent. So 200 times 90 and times 12, it's going to be $216,000 a year. How much value you just add to the property? You add $2,700,000 to the property. So as I told you, it's easy in commercial property to add the price by adding the rent, which in adding NOI. So in commercial, it's in commercial, it's easy to do that, but in residential, when you want to sell the property, even though you raise the rent, you can actually raise the value of the property, since when you want to sell the property in residential, you just have to check the comparison. The one that sold recently and the one which is actually comparable to your property. You can't say because I raised the rent, I want to actually have the higher value for my property. Thank you very much for paying attention to this episode.